What's the cost of being a painter in London in 2021? What should you consider when you're putting a price tag on your art? And if you're buying a piece of art, what are the costs behind it? Hi everyone, this is Carlo and welcome back to my channel. Today we're gonna talk about art and numbers and figures. As many of you already know, one of the main activities I'm pursuing at this stage of my life is painting. A few days ago I received a message from a friend asking me about the price of one of my artworks. And when I told him the French rate that I could sell it for, he replied that it was still a little bit expensive. He actually said he expected it to be cheaper. And he gave up. I'm not gonna name and shame, it happened to me before, not many times, but it happened already. And I know it's something that happens to all the artists, especially at the start of their career. In this video, I decided to break down the normal costs of painting here in London. I thought it would be interesting for people who want to buy an artwork to know what's actually behind it in terms of overall costs. And also, it can be a chance to share and compare my experience with artists that do the same in other parts of the world. So please feel free to let me know in the comments what's your experience. Let's talk about basic materials. We will see how much it costs for a painter to build a starter pack for their activity. I usually shop in Art UK, in store and online, especially now with the current world situation. It's one of the best choices in terms of quality and price. They often have promotions and I try to find other bargains on Amazon and elsewhere, but I find getting all my art supplies from the same place to be more practical, especially now with the shopping online. So let's take a look at the website. We're gonna start with canvases. I buy their own branded one. They are sturdy, very good quality. The only downside might be that they sell them in packs, not singularly. So you have to do an initial investment and then you have a little stock. I usually paint in 3 different formats, 40 by 50, 50 by 60 and 60 by 80 centimeters. So if we browse the shop, we can, let's say, buy a pack of 6 of the smallest size that I use, and a pack of 3, medium, and a pack of 3, large. So adding it up together, we have a cost of £143.70 just for the canvases, and we have a stock of 12 canvases. Paint brushes. Let's say we want to paint with acrylics, like I do. We want to have a selection of synthetic paint brushes, the soft ones. This set is £16.95, and a set of bristle ones that are a bit harder. We can go for this one, £14.95. I'm gonna add all these costs as we go. Now, acrylic paint. We can check how much an assortment of different colors is. I normally use the brand Liquitex, very good. And this is a big set of 48 colors, 22 milliliters tubes for £44.50. Of course, there's always at least 4 colors that you end up using more often than the others, and you will have to buy them singularly again and again. That's what happens to me with blue, green, aqua and titanium white. A single tube of heavy body acrylic paint ranges between £5 and £7.50 depending on the brands. So we can add an average of £6 multiplied by 4 to the final cost. Now let's check acrylic media. Either you want to create a textured painting or not, you will find yourself having to buy some kind of acrylic medium, at least to give a final finish to your canvas and protect it from fading over time. So for the time being, I'm going to calculate only the cost of a matte gel and a glossy gel to use as a finishing varnish. Big bottle because it runs out quickly, £31.50 per bottle. For my art, I use 4 different media to give texture. 4 jars of different media would be around £60 in total to add to the basic costs. I'm not gonna add it because this is just my case. If you don't want to paint on a table and get a bad psychosis, or you don't want to paint against the wall and make an absolute mess, you will need an easel. There are a lot of options. This one seems to have a reasonable cost to start. We will add a palette to mix our colors and a set of sponges that are always useful. So now we have built a basic kit that will keep us going for a while, and we spent £340.25 as an initial investment. If we spread this amount evenly on the 12 canvases that we have, each of them will have a cost of £28.30 only to cover the materials. So if you have to price your artwork, this is the starting point. Of course, these are initial costs, then you will have a recurring costs every time you run out of something. It's time to talk about some additional costs. Sì, mo apriamo 200 finestre. E vabbè, oh, Carmede, E su. Along with the costs of the materials, there are other costs that the artists need to take into consideration when they price their art. Labor, rate per hour. How many hours of your time have you spent on that particular art piece? And how much do you pay yourself for the work that you've done? For this calculation, I'm going to consider what is the living wage in London, which is the hourly minimum rate for workers to make their life sustainable in the city that they're living in. The rate in London is currently £10.75 per hour. So in order not to be at loss, please don't pay yourself less than that. There are groceries to buy. In my case, it normally takes me 5 to 8 hours of work on a canvas, depending on the size and the complexity of the details. So you can already see that the cost of labor alone ranges between £54 and £86 per canvas. Framing, if you take care of it. Of course you can sell your artwork unframed, but sometimes the buyer can ask you to take care of the framing and make a final price. Custom-made frames in London are expensive. But hey, everything is. Only beans in a can are not. When I had to take care of the framing, I browsed around in London and I found price quotes for an average of £130 for a 40 by 50 canvas, the smaller one. So if you're a buyer, that is usually the cost that goes into framing a small piece. Other expenses for an artist are stationery, pencil, eraser, sketch pad, space, for those who don't paint at home and have to rent a working space or a studio, and promotion. Of course you can promote your art on Facebook and Instagram for free, but if you want to establish yourself as a professional painter, you kinda need a proper website with a portfolio, and that of course has a yearly cost. My website costs £130 per year, just to give you an idea. On top of all these costs, if you're the artist, don't forget to add a little profit. You cannot just break even. You are selling and giving away a product of your artistry, a chunk of time of your life, and a beautiful piece of art that the person will be able to enjoy for life. You're not selling a plate of fish and chips that is gone in 10 minutes, 5 minutes when I'm hungry, 3 minutes. Oh, I'm hungry now. I hope this video gave you an insight of what it means to be a painter in London in terms of expenses. If you're an artist, don't undersell yourself. You are the one who has to give a right and fair value to your art, otherwise no one ever will, because you know what's behind it. If you're a buyer and you want to support an artist purchasing their work, I want to say thank you. Art needs to be supported and cultivated, and it needs to go out in the world. I hope this video gave you more behind the scene information about our work, and why sometimes we cannot really lower the price any further. If you want to see more of my art, you can check my website and the creativity playlist on this channel. And don't forget to subscribe my channel for more videos about traveling, creativity and human stories every week. Take care and see you soon.